Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to this exciting discussion with our very esteemed panel of what we have learned in the CS community in 2021 and some predictions the experts have for 2022. I'm going to start this off with you, Peter. You have been a strong voice for CS operations or CS ops. So 2021, what has been your personal learning in that area?
2021, the way I view it is that after participating in this functional area of customer success for over a dozen years, it feels like finally, to me, I saw a lot of evidence that a lot of companies are starting to take it even more seriously, this customer success function, meaning that they're putting in place the right sort of mechanisms to really establish kind of at a programmatic level what it's going to take to drive successful outcomes for customers. And they're getting past this buzzy new kind of way of thinking about this is a new role, this is a kind of a new function, and let's get all excited about it, and actually treating it more as a business function. And what that requires, of course, is of measurement of progress, but measurement against revenue expectations. And so I think that's upping the bar for customer success. That's executives telling customer success, yeah, we're going to invest in you, but we're expecting results that improve empirically. And so CS Ops, in my opinion, and this isn't just at Oracle, I see it, I talked to a lot of people in the industry. I think there's been a lot of investment made in the last year on establishing, going beyond just the tools like SmartKarrot and Gainsight and Tango, but actually putting in place the right sort of foundational kind of practice around processes and measurement of not just executing deliverables, but actually how the performance of the CSMs ties into the whole talent management system. I see a lot of proof of that too.
No, wonderful. I think, we see that too. What you're saying is one, obviously empowerment of the CS function itself, but also the investment and the expectations is going up. So more measurement across all processes. Yeah, it's a wonderful takeaway from 2021. And hopefully we see that getting into 22 as well. Moving quickly on to Irit. So Irit obviously has a lot of experience across the spectrum of organizations. You look from SMB to mid-market to enterprise, even organizations, high growth organizations going into IPO. So Irit, your experience across 2021, across that spectrum, very valuable for us to hear.
I think what's unique about what I bring to the table is that I do work with multiple companies at the same time. Most of them are high growth or enterprise clients, but at least once or twice a year, we deal with smaller high growth startups. And then, as you know, I have the YouTube channel where I interview a lot of different executives from a rainbow and range of different company sizes. So I get this really nice preview to what is everybody's busy with. And I gotta say, that the hottest topic in 2021 that was on everyone's mind is how do we cater to that lower segment, that long tail of customers? Because, like in the first decade of the customer success movement, everybody were just trying to figure out what is the strategy. So, they did the Pareto exercise where, you take the 20% of the customers that serve you 80% of your total revenues for the year, and let's just deal with those first. I think now after the corona, everything went digital. Why not, really think about how can I serve everyone? So we're seeing a trend where companies keep asking me about how do I create a pooled model? How do I serve? What is the best engagement model for my mid-market and small businesses? I think the most exciting thing is that we have a lot of AI enablement new software companies, and that category is starting to emerge much more than it did in 2013 when I started in customer success through Gainsight. Back then, if you wanted to do AI, you had to have a prediction analyst, like a statistician on your team, to analyze your data and give you an algorithm that was hopefully correct for at least 6 months or a year out. Now you have the technology in place to actually be able to harvest your data, like involve AI and customer. And I think, Prithvi, if I'm not mistaken, SmartKarrot is going into the same direction, right? Can we enable AI to infuse it into our technology to help all those companies cater many more customers than just that upper echelon? So that's the trends we're seeing in 2021. My prediction is that we're going to see it much more evolved in the next 5 years, not just 2022.
The long tail of customer is very important. I think every customer has, as they say, the best segment you can do is a segment of one. So every customer you treat individually and get going, and we'll see that trend. Irit, a little bit more. I know when we spoke last, you had mentioned something on the lines of seeing the concept of customer success actually evolve into outside of SaaS as well as outside of the product organization, because everyone who has a customer actually should be thinking customer success logically. Is that a trend you have seen in 2021?
If you liked what you've heard so far, that's awesome. More coming in a second here, but in the meantime, I want you to click that like button so that YouTube knows that this is great content and you can start sharing it with others.
I don't think that having customer success in all departments is still a predominant trend, but we're starting seeing thought leaders come in with more and more thought pieces around how do we do it as a company-centric initiative versus thinking about customer success as just building out that function.
Right. So more collaboration across functions, you're seeing more empowerment. Customer success is looked at as an equal function to sales, product management, marketing.
What we're not seeing is the CEO saying, hey, this is a cross-functional initiative. We're going to adopt customer success for our entire company. What we are seeing, though, is a beginning of that. So it's more of a bottoms-up approach. Right. So we're seeing better communication and collaboration with marketing. I actually did a video around how do we do advocacy better through collaboration with the marketing team? What does that synergy looks like? So we're seeing more and more companies actually collaborate between customer success and marketing a lot better to infuse this thing called, advocacy qualified leads, where customer success documents the leads they have, contacts that they work with that they think would be good candidates for advocacy. They started to put some records into it. So they start managing it in a database. We can count how many advocacy leads have they submitted. Of those, how many were qualified? And of those, how many did marketing actually create advocacy collateral, like referenceability or, quotes for their collateral or, webinar participation and all of that. We're seeing a higher trend on making this motion a lot more formalized within companies. So that's between customer success and marketing. Between customer success and sales, I think the lines are becoming clearer around who owns the commercial responsibility. And even if it is sales, then there's a better collaboration around CSQLs, customer success qualified leads, where customer success feeds leads and opportunities to the sales team around opportunities for upsell and cross-sell.
No, wonderful. I just love that concept of advocacy qualified leads. I think our own team can expect something on those lines as we start the year, creating their KPIs. So what you're saying is, look, it's very common for marketing to be evaluated around MQLs. There is now a trend that potentially you add that KPI to evaluating CS performance of AQLs, how many advocacy qualified leads were produced through that particular portfolio. Wonderful. To your 2021 personal takeaways from the community, from the industry.
Before we continue, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel and smash that notification button so that you don't miss out on any new videos.
I'm going to echo very much what Peter said. Peter was saying the importance of customer success. And I think based on the conversations I've had with the companies I'm collaborating with and the people that I talk to on a daily basis, that last year really saw customer success becoming strategic. I like to use the phrase, when I first started out in customer success about 9 years ago, I think customer success then was very much perceived as a churn buster. Whereas now, I think last year, we can call it an earn booster because it really is connected to the revenues. A few years ago, in fact, a lot of people were saying, things like, it's really difficult for us to position ourselves. We feel like we're the fifth wheel of the wagon. Whereas now I think we're really in the driving seat. That's the start of something which I think has really changed. I think, as Irit said, I think COVID has been an accelerator for that. I think, before a lot of our mindset was on acquisition. And within the context of COVID, of course, we couldn't always focus on acquisition for obvious reasons because a lot of verticals were suffering. So I think that's catapulted customer success within companies and having that recognition that they're actually doing a fantastic job. I think this strategic recognition is something which has really started last year. And I think there were lots of, I would say, leading indicators on the market, and I'm listening to what is happening. That I think one of them, there was even a report which was done last year by the TSIA, which said that, in fact, companies with customer success have a charter, which is now actually linked to expansion. This question was raised like 5 years ago, and only 10% of companies said that their customer success groups were linked with expansion, whereas last year it was 47%. So there's that trend of increase in the association with expansion. Retention is the same. The curve for being absolutely associated to retention is just going up. What I really loved as well last year, I saw that there was a report because lots of customer success professionals are having difficulty to prove their worth internally. Peter mentioned it as well. And I actually saw a report, it was done by SAP, where they said, look, thanks to customer success, the ROI of our investment is 380%. So there are lots of indicators. Another one is the investors. The investors are really very focused on customer success. And they're even saying, look, if you're not investing in customer success, we're not going to invest in you. So that is a real indicator. And the other thing I think which investors are looking, which is related to the revenue, is this golden KPI, which is the NRR. And they're looking at that, so looking at all the companies. And it's become like this golden yardstick for customer success, not only for customer success, because for me, NRR is a company-wide metric, but certainly customer success, like all of the roles internally, can definitely make a positive impact on NRR.
CS being strategic has been spoken about for a couple of years now. So what you're saying is actually it's starting to happen now. We have seen the beginnings of that and maybe a little bit more in 2021, and hopefully that continues. Rick, I want to ask you about this big debate around resource and skill in customer success. So obviously evolving community, lots of new stuff happening, innovation happening. There is a resource gap and there is a skill gap as well. And it's to be had in a growing community and a growing industry. What are you seeing and what have you seen in 2021, which can be good takeaways for us there?
I would say that 2021 was a really big year for customer success. I think that there was a couple of reasons for that. No one's actually mentioned the word COVID as yet, but of course it had a profound impact on the way pretty much every business did its business. I think 2020 was the year of reactive to COVID, and 2021 was the year of proactive to COVID. One of the things that I saw in 2020, going back 2 years, was a lot of scrambling in customer success to enable the business to continue to support its customers and not lose them. And then in 2021, we moved on from that. Then that was reactive to the proactive. Okay, so now our customers are like this now. They're doing business differently. We're doing business differently. How do we change as a team and continue to support our company? But also, what do we need to do differently in customer success for our customers now that our customers are operating in this different way? And the realization was that actually customer success is a massive part of the answer to the question in the post-COVID world, how do we best support customers? Well, customer success is the answer there, or at least a very large part of it. COVID actually had a profound impact on customer success. In 2021, I think what we were seeing then is a recognition, what we've got to do is we've got to pull resource internally from other teams, but also start looking outside the business, both for experience in customer success to help us grow, but also from an ever increasingly sophisticated customer success framework, requiring more and more variety of skills and experience, including, of course, and very much important, I think, is our customers' industry experience. We've got to understand our customer as well as our own vertical that we're in. So if we sell accounting software, well, we've got to understand accounting, as well as the more sort of customer facing type skills such as stakeholder management, time management, project management, change management, and anything else that ends with the word management on it, I guess, too. All of those have led to a really massive year for 2021, at the end of which I think, to come back on what I think actually again, Irit, Peter, Sue, I think you all said, is that now it's on the table with the C-level, and what the C-level are doing is they're saying, okay, you've proved it. You've proved you are now an essential strategic component of the business. We know that, but we still don't actually know how to make you the most productive and effective, and how to measure you, and how to prove the ROI on you. Now you're here, help us to manage you so that we can give you bigger, fatter checks to go out and spend and invest in customer success, which we've been a bit wary of doing so far because we haven't been certain where that money is going. And now we need to know, just like anything else in the business, everything's very carefully measured, everything's managed, everything comes back to the CFO, and the CFO knows the value of everything and knows therefore where to invest next. And that is where we need to be with customer success the same.